What I'm about to share with you today is one of the many relatively safe ways in which you get access, but not quite enter, a place called the Shadowside, and its effectiveness depends on how seriously you take this advice. Your mileage may vary. Refer to the title. I won't tell you that you shouldn't be afraid of the Shadowside. Chances are you've already seen it after all, and merely think it was just a recurring dream. And we'll tell you that there is no need to be ignorantly afraid of it. There is a difference, though. Ignorance fuels fear, and fear can give that place a lot of juice to run on. You have to be big on preparation if you want to try this. It's like skydiving. If getting it right on your first try is not something you're good at, then this is not for you. If you do drugs or alcohol the night of the event, you're going to have a bad time. If you're going through some serious issues in your life and are not feeling mentally or spiritually stable, or if you're doing this just to escape, you're going to have a bad time. And if you don't follow my instructions, particularly the multiple backups I'll give you, which trust me, are there for a reason, you're going to really have a bad time. The name of this game is the Three Kings. Here are the things that you're going to need. A very large, empty, and quiet room, preferably without windows. If windows exist, you'll need to be able to cover them and ensure total darkness. Basements usually work well if they're roomy enough. A pack of candles. You'll only use one if all goes well, and a lighter. A bucket of water and a mug. A fan. 2 large mirrors, like the one on your dresser. Don't worry, they won't be harmed. Or if they are, it'd be the least of your concerns. 3 chairs. An alarm clock. An active cell phone. And don't forget to charge the battery. A loved one willing to follow rules and go along with all this madness. And a small toy or dear object from your childhood. This is the setup. Start the setup at around 11 p.m. Place 1 chair in the center of the room facing north. This is important. Place the other 2 chairs exactly to the left and to the right facing your throne. The distance between your throne and that of your queen and fool should be about the length of your arm to each side, more or less. Place the 2 large mirrors on the queen and fool chairs left and right of you, facing you and each other. Try your best to have them stand at a 90-degree angle, or else you may get more or less than 3 kings. If you sit on your throne facing straight ahead, north, you should be able to perceive your own reflection in each of the 2 mirrors without actually having to turn your head nor your eyes to do so. If you see your own reflection in the corner of your eye, just barely there, then you've done it right. Place the bucket of water and the mug in front of you, just barely out of reach. Place the fan behind you and turn it on. Don't set it to maximum power. Medium or low is usually enough, and leave it on. Turn off the lights, and leave the door open and go to your bedroom. Set the candles by the side of the bed next to a lighter, your alarm clock, and your cell phone, and don't forget to leave it charging, and set your alarm for 3:30 a.m. Turn off all the lights and sleep while holding your power object and get some rest. And then it'll be showtime. Wake up at 3:30 a.m. with your alarm clock. Turn it off, but don't turn on the light. You have exactly 3 minutes to light your candle, grab your cell phone, and make your way to the dark room to sit in your throne. You should be seated by 3:33 a.m. Don't forget your power object. And check for potential red flags. If your cell phone didn't charge for whatever reason, abort the mission. If the alarm didn't go off exactly at 3:30 a.m., abort the mission. If you find the dark room closed, because remember, you left it open, then abort the mission. If the fan is turned off, and remember, you left it on, abort the mission. Here's a side note. If you have to abort the mission, leave the house with your loved one. Go to a hotel or any other place. There's no need for you to run. You have time to grab a jacket and your keys and whatnot, but leave. After 6 a.m., the coast should be clear. If all is going as planned, you can proceed and take your throne. Do not look directly at either of the two mirrors beside you. Do not let the candle go out. The fan is behind you, and you must protect the candle with your body, which is standing in between. There's a reason for this, as you'll soon see. Look straight ahead at the darkness, not at the candle, not at the mirrors, just straight ahead. Now, you may have noticed I didn't say during setup which chair was the queen and which chair was the fool. That's because it's your job to find out. And from their point of view, you are either their queen or their fool too. Hence, 3 kings. I won't spoil what happens next. Suffice to say, you won't be alone, and if you have questions, you'll get answers. Sometimes in the form of new questions. But hey, that's the story of humanity. Just stay put and try not to move. Again, do not look directly at the mirrors nor the candle, just straight ahead. Trust me. Don't chicken out either. You need to wait until 4:34. By 4:34 a.m., it's all over. It's okay to tremble a little bit. Just try not to. Not because it affects the ritual or anything. It's just a little disrespectful to do while in polite company. Did I mention not to let the candle go out? That's what the fan is for. You're protecting the candle with your body. But if your body were to suddenly be moved, then the fan would turn off the candle. That's backup number 1. Your loved one is backup number 2. At 4:34, they have to come in the room and call your name. If that won't work, they have to call your cell phone. Then if that won't work, they have the glass of water and the bucket. They can't touch you though, because that's a beginner's mistake. Backup number 3 is your item of power, the toy, locket, or whatever object of strength you brought along for the ride. It'll show you the way if things don't turn out so well. Multiple backups. You gotta be like a Boy Scout if you do these things. If you don't take this seriously all the way so that the ritual won't work, worst you could do is take it seriously enough for it to work and not seriously enough to be prepared for the consequences. If in doubt, refer to the title.